If you step on a scale and see that you've lost 10 pounds of body fat, where exactly did that mass go? Your body chemically breaks down those fat molecules into carbon dioxide and water. The vast majority of that mass is literally exhaled from your lungs, while the remaining fraction leaves your body as sweat or urine. When you maintain a daily deficit of about 500 calories, your body is forced to free up stored fats, transport them into your cell's mitochondria, and break them apart to use as fuel. Weight loss is an excretory process. Shedding fat requires a physical, mechanical action that your body actively performs through breathing and sweating. This diagram shows a white adipocyte, your body's primary energy storage cell. Almost its entire volume is a single massive droplet of liquid fat. During a diet, this internal droplet drains and shrinks, while the outer membrane and total cell count remain constant. For individuals who carried excess weight during childhood or adolescence, the body produced a higher absolute number of these fat cells. That inflated cell count often becomes a permanent feature, making weight maintenance uniquely challenging. Dieting empties your body's storage tanks rather than destroying them. The biological infrastructure remains intact, primed and waiting to be refilled. Physical exercise forces these cells to shrink by driving up local cellular energy demand and increasing the blood flow needed to transport fatty acids. During low to moderate intensity exercise, working at roughly 25 to 60% of your maximum oxygen consumption, your body relies directly on fatty acids, drawn from the bloodstream and muscle tissue as its primary fuel. Push past 70% of your capacity and the dynamic changes. Blood is shunted away from fat tissue, and your muscles rapidly switch to burning carbohydrates for immediate energy. This high-intensity shift creates a specific chemical roadblock. Rising carbohydrate usage generates a molecule called malonyl-CoA, which physically blocks the CPT1 enzyme, preventing fatty acids from entering the mitochondria for oxidation. Training at this level compensates for that roadblock via excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, or EPOC. For hours after the workout, your body burns fat to replenish energy stores, clear out lactate, and restore your core temperature. Maximizing fat loss requires both mechanisms, the real-time oxidation of moderate exercise and the prolonged metabolic afterburn generated by intense training. Skeletal muscle and fat tissue also chemically communicate with each other during exercise, a process known as tissue crosstalk. Contracting muscles function like an endocrine organ. They respond to physical strain by releasing chemical messengers called myokines, like IL-6 and irisin, directly into the bloodstream. These myokines travel through circulation until they reach white fat cells, where they initiate a transformation known as browning. This diagram compares a standard white adipocyte on the left with a brown adipocyte on the right. Brown fat cells contain multiple smaller lipid droplets and are packed with iron-rich mitochondria. They burn stored fat purely to generate heat. Consistent training also drives anatomical upgrades, expanding the capillary networks that deliver blood to muscle tissue and increasing the overall density of mitochondria inside the cells. This cascade of chemical signals retools your microscopic infrastructure, shifting your body toward a state of more efficient fat oxidation. As your fat cells shrink, the central nervous system registers the loss of mass. Evolutionarily, the brain interprets this as a threat of starvation. This triggers a response involving leptin, a hormone produced by fat cells that tells the hypothalamus the body has sufficient stored energy. As fat cells shrink, leptin production crashes below a satiety baseline, removing the brain's signal that you are full. Simultaneously, the stomach pumps out ghrelin. This fast-acting hormone spikes sharply, hammering the brain with aggressive signals to initiate a meal. Shrinking your waistline triggers a chemical mutiny. Your hormones rewire your brain to fixate on calories and drastically increase your drive to eat. The body's defense extends to your metabolism. It initiates a microscopic defense known as adaptive thermogenesis to intentionally lower your total daily energy expenditure. Your basal metabolic rate slows significantly. The body reduces its energy use far more than the simple loss of body mass would suggest. This diagram illustrates the mechanism behind this slowdown. Normally, mitochondria experience a proton leak that burns extra calories, but during weight loss, these uncoupling proteins are suddenly sealed off. The mitochondria become hyper-efficient, extracting more energy from fewer calories. The practical result is that a person who has dieted down to 180 pounds must consume significantly fewer calories to maintain that weight than a person whose body naturally sits at 180 pounds. Blunting this metabolic drop requires a specific counter-strategy. Utilizing small, sustainable caloric deficits and preserving lean muscle mass through resistance training forces the body to maintain higher energy demands. Sustaining weight loss involves managing an active biological conflict against millions of years of human evolution. Navigating this internal physiology provides a blueprint for working with your body's survival systems rather than against them.